Toni, thanks so much for taking some time to hang with us today. It's so great to be with you.
Oh my goodness, David, thank you for having me here. It's an absolute pleasure, absolute honor. And I can't wait to see where this conversation leads. So thank you.
Yeah. Hey, right from the very beginning, if there's one thing that you would want people to know about themselves, about life, right from the very beginning of our conversation, like the one thing you would want them to take away before we even get started, what would that be?
Look, there are a lot of things I could share, but really what's coming to my mind right now, or like through spirit, is truly to remember that you are divine, remember that you are gods, you remember that you are the universe, remember that you are the stars, you are the rivers, you are the planets, you are the leaves, you are everything that you see outside of you, and everything has always existed within you. It's emanating from your heart as a projector out into the matrix. It is not happening out there like to you, it's within you. And you are such a powerful being. We're all awakening to how beautiful, of beings we are, and how extremely powerful. And like, this is not from the egoic sense of power, really from like the essence that we're everything. Literally, we are all of it. We are all the humans. We are all the planets. We are all the rivers, the rocks, all the aliens. Everything is us. It's all being projected from our hearts. And there's only one, which is, I guess, call it source, God, whatever. And it's you to begin with. You are creating this whole like elaborate, beautiful story. And you fracturize yourself into all these little pieces to experience you from these many facets. So it's all about you. It's all about infinite self-love too. That's another important, I guess, aspect that's coming in. So I think that's enough for now, but I'm happy to share more if you would like.
I love it. Thank you so much. So, I want to ask you a question coming from the great thing about this podcast is I get to ask all these questions for me, and then other people get to listen. So,
Perfect.
before we dive into your actual story of awakening, which I totally want to get to, one of
Sure.
the things that's interesting because of my background in more of a conservative Christian upbringing, when you say it's all about me, that is the antithesis of what I was taught growing up, which is, and not necessarily from my parents, but just from like church leaders, over the years, is that it's not about you. In fact, if you think it's about you, if you make yourself the center of the story, that's egoic. That is self centered. That's not about God, so to speak. How would you respond to that? How would you help me process that?
Listen, that's a very good question. Look, when you see yourself as being separate than all, that God is outside of you. That's like Mother Mary, Jesus, Krishna, Buddha. And I grew up in Lebanon and in the Christianity, Greek Orthodox like religion. So I get like
Mhm.
Christianity. And look, what you don't like when you're expanding, and if your knowledge of or if like your own consciousness keeps believing in a sense without having to challenge and listen to the voice that's within, which we all have that voice, we all have
Mhm.
had it, we all will have it, we'll never like lose it. When you begin listening to that, it will lead you in very exploratory path. And when you begin to explore those paths, then your whole world kind of expands. So I stutter, by the way, and I've always stuttered, and here it comes.
No
But
problem.
like when I channel, yeah, thank you. Like when I channel, all the stuttering like goes away. But that's like another story. We've been so taught, brainwashed, and completely conditioned that we are separate than everything that's outside of us, and
Mhm.
anything that's happening is happening to us. So, like from that perspective, it makes sense psychologically that if I love what's outside of me, then like good things will happen to me, right? Because it's happening like to me, it's not happening through me, and it's not happening because I'm choosing to make it happen. That's another thing that will blow people's minds. Like, what do you mean I chose this life? Like, what do you mean I chose poverty, right? Because I grew up in a poor background. Like, what do you mean that I chose to have pain? Like, what do you mean like that I chose all these like non-preferred ways? But when you begin seeing yourself as the ascended master, that you are so powerful, you are so powerful that you are choosing this path because you know you can get out of it, you know you can learn from it, you know you can expand like through that experience, right? So like the self-love is not coming like from the egoic sense that I am separate than when I see in front of me. Like self-love really is you loving it, and like listen to the following part: every aspect of who you are. And I'm kind of channeling a bit consciously here because I feel it. Every aspect of who you are is outside, seems to be outside you. It's an illusion of, it's all happening within you. So like when I said earlier, you're the rivers, like you're the leaves, you're the humans, you're the wars, you're the peace, you're the love, you're the fear, you're the worry, like you're the dot, you're the stars, you're the planets. When you begin seeing everything outside of you as a small
Hmm.
like fraction of the whole, then when you self-love you and self-love every aspect of those, that's the self-love that we're talking about. It's not the self from I am the only one. Well, you actually
Hmm.
are the only one, but it's really coming to love every version of yourself, every version that made all the decisions, whether they're good, bad, or evil. Because from creators, from God's view, there is no judgment for anything that you do, anything that you decide, any choice that you made, whether, and there is no judgment, right? Like creation does not see experience as good or bad. We created that concept. We like limited like ourselves even like further by creating that concept to be able to experience what it means to live a life with the idea of like judging what's happening. It's all experiential, like through the eyes of creation. So when you begin like seeing your world from that perspective, from that lens, you don't see self-love as like selfish and all the other
Hmm.
human aspect of how like we define ourselves. And when you begin to see everyone out there, everything out there, every experience out there as ascended mastery, your whole world changes. Your perspective on what you just went through changes. Like, wow, I put myself through that experience to really know how it feels, how to be, and what choices and decisions I'll make through that experience to get me out of it. And literally through that, whether you got out of that experience or not, you expanded. That's what
Hmm.
enlightenment is expanding, learning, continuing to push the paradigm of the infinite. Because also, if you believe and know that you are the infinite, and if you understand the word, what infinity means, keeps going and going and going and going and going, there is there is no destination. The destination is right here, right now. This is why when we talk about the now moment, is that's the only destination. If you want to define your perspective through the idea of destination, is only now and here, because everything else continues evolving and moving and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And when you begin accepting and seeing yourself as this expanded, beautiful soul that is living all these multiple lives all at once to experience the infinite in its own facets, then your whole world changes. And the self love comes from that idea.
Hmm. You said that you grew up in Lebanon, and
Yeah.
and you were part of the Greek Orthodox Church as your upbringing. I want to hear kind of how your spirituality, the mindfulness, consciousness, all of this unfolded in your life, because you're doing some really fascinating things that we're going to get into. But how did this all unfold for you, Tony?
You know what? Like the long story short of it is, it all unfolded when COVID came. Really, like before COVID, I was totally asleep. I was into the matrix. I was into the lack mentality that I'm not powerful. Like everybody else, how they live now that aren't expanded, kind of spiritual, I guess, like aware of their own already expanded, um, um, like self within. I've lived now.
So pre-COVID, so I want to get this. Pre-COVID, you're a real estate broker in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
You're living life. Did you have any sense of spirituality or consciousness at all at that point?
So look, I believed in Jesus, right? And I believed in Mother Mary, and I like loved church. I loved going to churches. I loved candles. I love icons. I loved saints. So I would go to churches every once in a while when I feel called, and it was my place where I feel peace, right? I loved
Mhm,
looking at all the candles and like the smell of the incense. It just brought
mhm,
me peace. But um, like back to my childhood, and in Lebanon, it's a like quite of a religious country, right? So you have
mhm,
Muslims, which are like amazing, like spirituality, and then you have Christianity, but just the whole culture, right, is just very. about believing like in something that is greater than you, right? And I completely subscribe to the idea of like Mother Mary and Jesus and all of like the saints, and I had all these icons, and I would pray for them every day, et cetera, et cetera. But it was from a very like separate perspective that they are out there and I am here. I never thought that they were me, like to begin with. Now I know that I am Mother Mary, I am Jesus, I am all the saints, and I know it. This is beyond believing. This is I'm like this beyond thinking. I embrace the idea that I am all of it. But like from the perspective when I was separate, when you separate yourself from that power, you always feel less than. I'm not that power. I am not Jesus. I need to pray for Jesus to make things good happen to me. I need to pray for Mother Mary to make like good things like happen to me. If I'm a good boy, like good things happen to me. If I'm a bad boy, right, like bad things will happen to me. That idea of I need to pray for someone else outside of me continually like judges me. Like what I realized, I was judging myself all the time. I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm not that, et cetera, et cetera. But throughout that journey for 40, I would say years, because I'm 44 now and COVID came 4 years ago, right? For 40 years, I have this little like grain of sand, the best way that I can describe it, that's in my heart, that I know now it's in my heart. I always described it as being in my chest. The small grain of sand, like really tiny little thing. I knew everything will be fine. And I knew it just brought me like peace, right? And now I know that it's the flame of creation that I have like within me. It's the infinite unconditional love that I always had within me, always, but I didn't know like what it was called then. I would feel it every once in a while. It would become like clear in the sense it's there, but I didn't know. I like did not know like what it was. But when I expanded, I had clarity on exactly what that was,
How
which
did
was
that happen though? Like how did that come about for you?
yeah. So look, my awakening happened quite fast. I talk to a lot of spiritual leaders. I have a lot of shaman. I have a lot of friends in the spirituality community, and everybody has like their own path. I mean, I know people that's been taking like 40 years to expand or like come to a point where they're more aware. You know, I've had some that took 10, 20 years. Like mine literally was like overnight. It happened so fast. Within, I'd say like a year, I really got the concept. After that, I began kind of embodying it. After that, like forget about it. I've been on this rocket ship journey of this accelerated light speed where I'm just living the moment. I'm not questioning things anymore. I'm not worrying about things anymore. I'm not thinking like with my mind. I'm really thinking like with spirit. I'm really like thinking from consciousness level that we just met for a reason and just go with it. Just go with the flow. Don't resist. Don't try to create Excel sheets. Don't try to really to get the brain to understand the beyond, because the brain is not capable like to understand like the beyond. But during COVID, like for the first 3 months, where the whole world was trying to figure out what you can do, like real estate kind of slowed down because everybody was afraid, masks, and you can't leave, and like curfews or like whatever it is. And like you would hear on TV, like my husband was glued to the TV. He's like listening to breaking news after breaking news. As I'm listening to this rhetoric and to this like story of fear, I'm like, no way on earth I'm going to subscribe to that reality. Like no way on earth I'm going to live a life where I feel like I have to have a mask, I have to get a shot. Like it just sounded so engineered to me. I cannot describe it. It didn't resonate with me. And I think because that I'm like began not resonating with me, it opened up my consciousness without me like being aware. And I was on the Gaia channel on Amazon, and all of a sudden, all these documentaries, which is crazy. I never watched documentaries about UFOs, about aliens, about consciousness, about meditation, about spirituality, like the paranormal, the beyond, all started popping up, and I started watching them. And it is one show that is that's called The Interview with Extra Dimensionals by Ruben Langdon, that just captured my imagination. It was all about channelings. He had like 8 or 9 channelers, and it was like 2 seasons. And I became obsessed with that show, and I watched each episode maybe 4 or 5 times for the next like month and a half, and I stopped. And it just opened up my mind about what we are capable of like beyond what we were brainwashed to think what we are. And it just like spun me into this new kind of exploratory phase to just, and I just became hungry. I just wanted to learn, right? And look, as I'm learning, all these brand new concepts, are flooding in. It's not making sense like contextually. I understand the English of it, but it's not clicking yet. But for 3 or 4 months, I just embraced it. I just like flooded my mind, which in retrospect, a year later, I really was able like to see my path where everything that I watched in those like 2 or 3 months about like physics and like other dimensions. I mean, it just went crazy, right? Into all these new concepts. They were all little like seeds that were, I guess, planted in my path. And as I would awaken, like the next year and a half, all these little pieces like would come together and like create a clear, perfect puzzle. And I got to a point where I just began trusting myself, and I I essentially like re-empowered me that all the knowledge that I'm seeking, that I continue seeking outside of me, really is like within me. And I began testing myself to see if I know what I think I know. And it was just a beautiful journey of just, I mean, this is the best way that I could describe it without getting into crazier details. But like channeling to me was like my outlet to really begin to trust that I am divine. I am God. I am the wisdom. I am the information. I am all of it. It's all within me, and I have access to it at all times. That just gave me the complete like freedom, and I was free that I don't need to rely on like the outside to get that information. It's okay, like to rely on me.
Mhm. And so you're watching all of these different channeling episodes and documentaries, and you're kind of diving deep on this. At what point did you begin to think, wow, perhaps I might be a channel? Like, how did that come into your mind and your heart?
Yeah, I mean, look, you have to keep in mind, like when you're watching like a new documentary and like you're still in the 3D, you're feeling the emotions that I am not a channel. I cannot channel. There's no way that I can channel. All these things where like you beat yourself down. That oh, like they must be like more special than me. They may have like
Yes.
a special gift, and I had that desire. I want to be like them, right? But it's really coming from that perspective that I'm not them. I want to be like them. They have something extra special that I don't have. That's why they do what they do. And I took a channeling class, like just, and that happened all synchronistically. Like my cat died. That was like living with my ex like boyfriend, and like through that we ended up meeting this person like speaks to animals, and through her she said like, you know, I teach channeling classes, which was crazy because we didn't talk about channeling with her. And I took that class still thinking I am not like those other people. I don't have those gifts. I am less
Sure.
than. I'm not special. And the first day, the first class that we took, and I pretended to channel or was like practicing to channel, there was an immediate knowingness that I can do this. And although I
Wow.
wasn't confident like yet, I just knew I'm a
Mhm.
channel. And I was very beginner, and I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust the images, the information, all the timelines, you know, all the
Mhm.
emotions, right? Because I get visions like in like my channeling. I didn't trust how like my state like shifted from now to like consciousness until I began, I stopped stuttering. So, like during the speech, like you see me use the word alike, and I use the word like because it helps me kind of transition. Because if I
Mhm.
don't, I really stutter and like the word doesn't come out.
Mhm.
But when I began channeling, like the first time, for the first time in 40 years, and I'm not kidding, I really struggle with channeling with like my speech. And like when I was younger, I stuttered a lot in school. It was a traumatic like experience for me because
Mm.
I would always get called on, and I would just like stutter, like the word wouldn't. I would feel so like minuscule. It was
Mhm.
crazy. The first day when I began channeling, I didn't stutter for the first time in like 40 years.
Hmm.
And that's the only, and I have chills all over my arms now. And like this is the only proof that I needed that what just occurred, what we call like channeling, right?
Mhm.
Which is just a label, was my proof that I just shifted frequencies, like something just happened. In no way on earth I cannot stutter
Hmm.
because I tried all my life, like 365 days a year, and like you multiply by 40 years, you multiply by like minutes and like seconds of the day. I knew that I stuttered, and always was like challenged by speech, always. And I
Mm,
lost a job because of it, and I didn't get an interview because of it. And it's crazy
mhm,
stuff because it became like bad at one point. So the fact that I did not stutter when I was practicing gave me, was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I'm not stuttering. It was my proof that whatever just happened is like different and it's new and I love it. And I embraced
yeah.
it like from that moment on. And it was just like jumping like into a beautiful rabbit hole of like butterflies and all these colors and all. I mean, it's just beautiful when you dive into yourself and realize that you are grander than you ever thought. You are
Mhm,
much bigger than you could ever imagine. You are so creative. You are so powerful. Like, not from the sense I am more powerful than you, but like powerful in the sense of I'm everything. I'm expansion. I am creation. Like, I am
mhm,
creation. Like, I am creation, and you are creation. And like when you realize that, it just breaks down the matrix. It breaks down all these belief systems that I am not this, I am less than, all the negative, um, the, the not like good enough. I'm not, no, I'm everything. I'm all of it. And
mhm,
when you begin
mhm,
to embrace all of it, that's another thing. Like, it's like layer within layer, like within layer of like deconstructing all of your belief systems. Because when you begin saying, I am the infinite and I am the creator, we say it with our minds and very like logically, and I understand what that means. But to live and embody what that word really means is a very different story. And that's the
mhm,
new journey that I'm on. That when I say I'm the infinite and I'm the creator and I am self loving, unconditionally loving for me or to me, it means to every aspect of who I am, every decision that I have made, every thought that I have had, every life that I have lived on the spectrum of like judgment. And that's where we kind of like come to a wall. How can I love a version of me that decided to hurt that person or make that decision or like kill another person or whatever that is, right? All these bad, what our society, but when you begin understanding that creation doesn't judge and there is no judgment to any experience that we have, everything becomes ascended mastery, everything becomes expansion. And when you get to that kind of perspective and lens, you embrace life, you embrace everything that can happen, that has happened, that could happen, that is happening.
mhm,
And then when you embrace all of it, you bring it back to your heart. When you bring all those pieces like back to you, then you're able to see yourself as the whole creator that you are, right? Because you're not putting one piece of you that you don't agree with all the way over there. When you do that, you create a whole, HOLE, into the beautiful like infiniteness of who you are. But when you bring it back with love, when you see it from a different perspective, you bring that piece back that you once that like you once like judged and said it's not me. You bring it back into your heart and you begin to see yourself as the whole image. You begin reconstructing the totality of who you are by bringing every decision, every choice, everything with no judgment.
mhm.
Hopefully that answered that question. I kind of went tangentially into other things. It's just
Yeah, it's
spirit,
all good.
spirit state.
So you now channel what you would call praying mantis beings,
Yes.
and that's at the center of kind of your messaging. You call your work the Antarean-Heart. And so I would love to hear a little bit about the Antarean-Heart and these praying mantis beings that you channel. I mean, I will tell you, I walked by your booth at Conscious Life Expo probably 2 years ago,
Yes.
and then also last year. And some of these things were channeling was a bit more new for me a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I've actually myself gone through a channeling class in the last year and had some really profound channeling experiences myself, both on medicine and off medicine, like where I was completely out of control on medicine. Like it was just coming through me and I could not stop it for like an hour. So I'm a huge believer in channeling and the experience. 2 years ago, I'm walking by your booth and I'm like, this guy, what is going on? He's got like this robe on and he's got these praying mantis things that look freaky. I mean, this is weird, man. How did I'm a real person, so I just tell you like it is, bro. It was a little different. You know what I'm saying? But your heart is flowing through. You're saying you're channeling these praying mantis beings. How did this happen? Like, what
Yeah.
is this all about, Tony? This is
Yeah.
incredible.
Well, listen, thank you for speaking your heart. And I honor your perspective because, listen, like for me, like to be able to embody and say to the world, I channel praying mantis beings, that's insane.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
like
It
you
is
have to
so
understand,
good.
like,
So good.
I get you, but the fact that I stepped into it, that's the knowingness that I know, like no one on earth,
Yes.
even if the praying mantis come and say, you never connected with us, I know that I connected with you. I don't need
Yeah.
anyone else. Even if creation comes, which is me to begin with,
Tell me
and
how
says,
this happened, though. I want to know exactly how you came to praying mantis beings flowing through you.
okay, so listen, past life regression. So as I'm learning about channeling, past life regression, quantum physics, and all these things, like, on TV, I became obsessed, in a sense, hungry for, I want somebody to channel for me. I want somebody to, so I'm called the session king because I've had thousands of sessions with all these people. I just became,
Really?
yeah, because I thought I couldn't channel. They are special more than me. They have a special gift. So I would go to them just to get information. Well, I was
Sure.
obsessed, right? Because I wanted more. Um, and as I'm having these channel sessions, I am learning about Pleiadians and Arcturians and praying mantises. I mean, this was all brand like had knew like absolutely um like nothing like about it. So I had a bank of information of what could possibly like exist there based on this channel sessions and all of the documentaries I had. And I heard a past life regression. I'm like, oh, cool. Like you can get hypnotized and things will come through. And let's see.
Sure.
My first past life regression, the moment I was under, the first image that came, like was a praying man's head. It was like flash, flash. But as fast as the flash was, the image was so ingrained in me that I was in it for an infinite, like I was in it like forever, but yet it was gone in like an instant. Like
Wow.
in that moment, I was able to experience infinite timelessness, and then a split second, flash, flash. It was two like it's like a dichotomy of two concepts all at once.
Mhm.
The next image is this long-bodied silhouette, about 20 feet high, of this pure light being that looked human-ish, like silhouette. It was just like a silhouette. But as I see, and I'm getting chills all over my body now, and like as I'm like looking at it, and again, it was flash, flash, but yet I was in it like forever. As I'm looking at it, I guess they were telepathically like speaking to me, and like they said, we need to come to you in this way because your mind, if we come in our true essence and form, you're not your mind will not be able to like to create an archetype, an image of who we actually are, because we're very expanded beings, and our awareness of who we are is so large and wide that your mind, it will shut down. It just doesn't know what it's looking at. uh, right? So they came in that light bodied silhouettes, and I could feel like the light, like the light was intelligent. As I'm looking at it, it was absolute consciousness. The light itself was consciousness. The next image, I see like this heart. They put me like inside this heart, these infinite layers. It's like these like layers of the heart that goes to infinity, infinity, all faceted, crystal faceted, but this clear like crystal your mind cannot comprehend. Like if you've seen like the clearest crystal on earth, this is a million times clearer than that. There was like intelligence within it too. Like it was a conscious intelligent entity. All of these facets of crystals, and in the middle of this infiniteness, right, like there was a point that's called middle, small like spark. And it reminded me of that spark that I described when I was a small child. And when I say small, it's smaller than a grain. And I have chills all over all over like my body now. And like they told me, you are so powerful that you don't need a flame or a bonfire or an explosion. All you need is this little grain of that power to remind you of who you are. And that little grain, and oh my God, I have chills literally all over my head. You see?
Mhm.
And like they said, that little power, that little spark of light that seems so tiny is going to reflect onto this one reflection facet to the next, into the infinity that created like this Merkaba of light. And I was in this vehicle of just absolute infinite light and love, the heart and like the light. And then I go through the past life regression. I had like 4 or 5 like past lives that came through where I was buried alive and I was a slave and I was, et cetera, et cetera. But that was my first experience with them. And I knew, like, after that session, after those 3 seconds, however they lasted, no one within creation could say, I have no connection with these beings. It's just within you. It's an activation of like memory. And I knew, and immediately I was obsessed like with the mantis beings. And there isn't information on like on the internet like about the praying mantis beings. Very little. When I say very little, 0.00001. There's very little. So I had to rely on the messages I get from them, and I couldn't read a book and say, oh, here's what the message. Let me. It was complete reliance on like on the like communication like with them. And then on my journey 2 or 3 months later, I wanted to confirm. So listen, I had that experience, but you have to remember, I'm still awakening. I'm still like believing I'm disempowered. I don't have a special gift. It's a one-time thing that happened. Is it real? Is it not real? Am I crazy? How can I tell people I connect with these insectoid beings? Like, I live in Washington, D.C. I sell real estate. A lot of people know me here. Like, I can't go out there and do that, but I embodied that version, and I did. And that was the most magical thing ever. And I'll show you one thing later. But it was such a strong knowingness, I could not escape it, right? And I come home like to my husband and I say, oh my God, babe, I connect with, I am a praying mantis. I saw myself as like the praying mantis. So now on this journey, I wanted to confirm, like, is
What
there
did he
anybody?
hold on. What did he say? I got to hear what he said.
So you'll meet my husband one day. He's this big macho man, all tattoos, amazing guy. Opening up to spirituality, he's still very in like the 3D. The look on his eye was like, are you joking? Like, he was kind of supportive, but yet there's this other look like, okay, I hope you're not gonna run with this and like go tell the world that you are, because he knows how I am. Like, when I fall in love with something, I'm gone with it. I embody it, I guess. And so I think there was a little bit of like doubt and fear, like, please don't go out there and say that you connect with these beings. Like, are you crazy? Right? But he's seen my journey, and he's been kind of I would say observing kind of like my awakening. And he's come so far right now. He believes in all this, and he's really really coming into his own, I guess, ascension, in his own like clarity on who he is. He's always been supportive of everything that I did. He never, like, he's not too needy, and he always lets me like do my thing. So he did let me like do me, but I could feel and tell, okay, just don't go crazy and don't get too excited blabbing to the world that you talk to these insectoids. It was.
And you would
And
say that these beings are some sort of like consciousness. Would you say consciousness that came to you in the form of a praying mantis because you could relate to that? Is that what I heard you say?
precisely, and thank you for saying it that way, because if they really come in the form of who they are, it's so our brain is not going to be able to understand what it sees. It's gonna look like, I don't know, like pure light or something. But remember, when you like begin realizing that you are infinite, and infinite is everything, there's all kinds of versions of anything that we cannot even comprehend yet that exists out there, right? And like the way that I describe it is in like this lifetime, whatever like I'm like whatever like theme of exploration that I am tapping into, and all the messages that I'm supposed to be relaying like to the world, like, will be coming like from that perspective and like that aspect of the infinite. But I always tell my
Mhm.
clients it could shift at any day, right? I'm not, okay, I'm a praying mantis and like this is it, and I'm a realtor and I'm Lebanese and I'm a man and I'm gay and or whatever, and this is it. No. Now I've really embodied, I could shift. Like, all this is brand new. Like, this start as of last week. I never did my nails, but I did the
Mm.
yin and yang symbol because I went to a ceremony. And I didn't do it for any other reason except that I wanted to experience creation. Like, this is creation to me.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
this is creation to me. This is creation. This is creation. Like, this ring is creation. Like, everything, I see it not from the aspect, oh, it's jewelry. Oh, I'm like, this is nail like polished. This is a like version of creation that I'm getting to know what that creation is. I'm getting to know me, this version of me that wears this. And like this could change next week and I may never ever wear again. I don't know. I could channel
Mhm.
Praying Mantis today. I could channel, I don't know, like some other being like tomorrow. But right now, it's a very strong connection, right? And I have completely embodied them, and I'm getting to know them. And they actually have given me like the access and like the portal, like to connect to other like beings and to other aspects of consciousness that we cannot even or are not able to comprehend or even conceive of.
Mm.
They, I think they're kind of my ambassadors to allow me to tap into what creation really is beyond the 3D. Like, I mean, I'm speaking like when I channel, I see things that are the words cannot describe what I'm seeing, like colors or experiences or just feelings that the feelings, the words that I'm using to describe the feeling is not enough to describe what I'm experiencing. So
Sure.
and like that surrender, like by the way, when you really surrender, like that you're the infinite, you surrender into what the infinite wants to show you today or the
Mhm.
next minute, or like the next moment.
Can you
um
channel do you have the ability to just channel, like, even just on the spot, like right now
yeah,
for
totally,
me? Like, you have that ability?
totally. We all have it, by the way. I'm not any, the audience needs to understand, I'm not extra special than anyone else. We all do channel, we're just not aware that we channel. So yes,
Mm.
yeah, it just takes me about 20 seconds to get into it and I'm in it. That's how I normally
Mhm.
channel.
Would you be open to sharing any, like, messages for me or for us
Oh
now?
my
I mean, I
god.
don't wanna put you on the spot, but would you be open to that?
No putting on the spot. I love the channel. It's amazing. It's, I mean, it's who I am. It's who we all are. So I would love to if you're open to it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want me to do?
So you sit there. You just open your heart.
Mhm.
You're welcome to close your eyes if it helps you to be in your heart. If you want to open, there's no right or wrong way. If you want to peek, not peek, do you. Right? It's
Mm.
so easy. Like for the mindset. Oh, I just peeked. He said, close my eyes. There's no right or wrong way. Do you and be in the flow of what you're being. So I'll go into it. It will take about 20 seconds. They'll come through and they'll deliver a message. And maybe like for humanity and maybe specifically like for you, I don't know, like we'll see. And like you'll know like what that message is for. Then they say like you're welcome to ask questions and you can ask anything, absolutely anything. And if you have nothing to ask, if like you want to sit in the silence with them, they'll bring me messages, they'll bring me like memories, they'll bring me like images that I can share with you that you may relate to like instantaneously, or you may not know about yourself. Crazy stuff has happened. All this insane stuff has happened. And, anyhow, does this make sense?
Of course, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. And from the Antares Stargate, we come through in this way to co-create with you this beautiful reality of oneness, to merge our hearts with your hearts, to be one in consciousness with you, to remind you of the infinite essence that you are. and to activate parts of your DNA structure and to activate parts of your light structure, to remind, to open up those memories, to turn on those memories for you to remember who you truly are as the divine. And as we speak in this manner, know that there are sound frequencies that are being emanated within your field and the field of your audience and whoever will be listening to this session, to allow them to align their frequencies, to allow them to come into their heart a lot easier and to escape in a sense or leave the mind behind, to be able to see their world, comprehend the words, comprehend the images, comprehend the light frequencies that are coming through, the color frequencies, the sound vibrations that you are all made of, to be able to understand and recognize that you are the vibration of creation itself, that you are the multifaceted versions of your infinite, that you are all divine, that you are all creators, that you are all powerful, that you are all creating your worlds by your own power. And that the illusion of this empowerment is created by your power. The illusion of being disempowered is created by your infinite power. Listen to those words and vibrations. You are not the disempowerment that you experience. You allow yourself to experience the idea of disempowerment. Experience the idea of disempowerment to be able to expand yourself as the creator you are. But all of those experiences that you are having are happening through the infinite power of who you are. And with that reminder, we begin our dialogue with you in this way. As we feel your hearts have been opened, the many versions of who you are ready to step through and deliver messages to you and share memories and expand your consciousness from that perspective. You are welcome to pose a question, make a statement, or sit with us in silence, should you prefer, and we will bring you messages from yourselves.
What is my mission here on this earth?
You see, from the way that you pose that question, the way that humanity poses that question, as many of you are always searching and seeking for a mission, we always go back to the structure of such a questioning, as the question within it contains the answer oftentimes. Searching for a mission already tells you the disempowered state of your mind, that there is one mission that I supposedly should have, be aware of, and if I don't find that mission, then I am not on my mission. We are here to tell you that your mission is literally being every moment of you being aware that you are alive. Your mission is feeling and experiencing and truly getting to know the experience itself from an emotional point of view, physical point of view, mind point of view, essence point of view, energy point of view. Bask in the energy of that experience. Allow us to give you an example. Should you go on today and experience the idea of fear, let's say, of limitation of some sort, your mind kicks in, you are afraid, you begin creating a storyline. Why is this happening to me? Why am I disempowered? Why am I afraid? Etc., etc., etc. Why? The pushing away, the resistance to literally be that emotion. Every time you push away an idea, every time you push away an experience, regardless on the spectrum of judgment, may it be good, evil, or neutral, every time you push away and you resist an idea, literally you are veering off your mission. Because the ultimate mission that you have is to experience truly, with every essence of what it means to be afraid, to feel disempowered, to be worried. Whatever that experience is, be in it, communicate to it, allow it to show you things that you perhaps were not able to see because you were resisting it, because you were brainwashed or conditioned to not have those emotions. It is not good for you to be afraid. You're a strong man. It is not good for you to go through that experience that has been judged by society, that you declared bankruptcy, that you are poor, whatever the case may be. Push it away, push it away, push it away. Society said no. My parents said no. The media is saying no. Every time you do that, you veer off your mission. Although within the eyes of creation, that pushing away in itself is experience of expansion. So when you begin seeing the duality of pushing away an experience and bringing in an experience to your heart and really allowing that experience to allow you to feel the energy of what it means to be that experience, may it be fear, may it be doubt, may it be embarrassment, shame, whatever the case may be. When you accept that I am that fear, I am that worry, I am that joy, I am the freedom, I am the prison, and sit with it and just be with it from a creation to another creation. That's the moment where you realize what your true mission is. As your real mission within creation is to get to know every aspect of who you are. And when we say every, we mean every aspect of who you are. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. How can I become a more clear channel?
You see, we always go back to the source of the question. How can I become a clear channel? In other words, what you are saying is, I am not a clear channel when you already are. Begin training your mind. Restructure the definitions within your mind initially from an intellectual essence and vibration. Train your mind to say, I am a clear channel. I'm learning how to become aware of it. That alone, when you say, I am a clear channel, I am learning to become more aware of it, activates that part of you that is a channel. And then little by little on your journey, you will begin to realize and sense. Little things will little confirmations will happen along your life, along your experiences that will show you that you are a clear channel. But when you are coming from the perspective that I am not this, the road to finding that you are a clear channel will be slightly more challenging. Our question to you is, which path would you like to be on? The path of least resistance and ease, or a path of a challenge? Because both of them are honored by creation. Both of them are viewed through the eye of creation as experience of expansion. It's just one path will take longer than the other within the timelessness of your infinite. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you. One more question for you. What is it that you most love and appreciate about Toni?
The channel, and we would like to thank you for such a question, as it has never been posed from that perspective. And he will hear from us for the first time in this way and will be able to feel and experience the unconditional love and reverence that we have for this being. We are grateful and have known that this channel will step into his truth fully, with no fear, with no thought, with no need for accolades, with no need to feed his ego. He knows now that he is all of it. And he knows now in this experience, he is experiencing us. It is a pleasure for us to be allowed in his world in this way. It is a pleasure for us to be able to see within his body structure, physically and light and essence, the beautiful shifts that he has made to allow us to work with him in this way. We honor his journey. We never interfere. We see the courage that he chooses. We see the infinite love that he has for us, for himself, for others. We see the embodiment. We see the pushing of his paradigm, how he attempts daily to restructure his words, restructure his expressions, decides clearly and consciously to view his world from the lens of expansion. We are honored that he has opened his heart to us in this way. And through that, he will be able to experience many of who he is through this connection. He will allow others the doorway to also connect with their essences and vibrations and frequencies. As with every breath that he takes, every heartbeat that his physical body beats emanates in frequency and vibration of unconditional love to every consciousness on your planet, beyond your planet, and within the parallel aspects of creation and realities. The recognition alone, the stepping up to the next level of his journey, has already reverberated within the fabric of creation and has already awakened and activated many parts of other beings and consciousnesses within the infinite itself. And having said that, we would like to remind you, as humanity, that with every choice that you make, with every decision that you take, with every path that you choose, every heartbeat that beats, and every breath that you take, you are creating impact within creation itself. You are activating others within creation itself. You are allowing the Creator itself as an infinite consciousness to expand through all of those experiences. So honor, love, and cherish everything that you have been, everything that you have been, as creation loves you unconditionally and thanks you for the service that you are doing for thyself. Because there's nothing else, no one else but you to begin with.
Thank you.
We would like to bring a few messages for you specifically, should you be open to hearing.
Absolutely.
We have brought in 2 images for the channel in this now moment. One of an Arcturian being, should you know who they are. Arcturians. One of your guides. A beautiful being of blue color. Shape of the head like a flame. Comes to a point. And comes down, humanoidish looking. Eyes large. And what is even larger is a third eye that is made of crystals. It is constantly emanating, in a sense, beating like a heart. He is one of your guides on this journey. And another being, elf-like features, ears pointy like an elf, from, we'll say, the magical lands of creation, has always been assisting you on your journey, specifically when you were a child. He is reappearing in this now moment to bring back the joy of being a kid and a child, to bring back the idea of magic within your heart. That you have access to the fairy dust, the magic potions of whichever reality that you choose. And the all-seeing eye is being shown to the channel right now. The all-seeing eye, allowing you to know that you will see clearer on your path. You will see beyond the veil. You will be able to see with your heart a new vision that you will acquire. A vision beyond the physical eyes, vision beyond the third eye, the vision beyond consciousness itself. Through the heart itself, you will have vision of clarity. Embrace that aspect of who you are, as it will serve you tremendously in this lifetime. And a crown will be placed upon your head. And when that crown is placed, in that moment of placement of it reaching or touching, let's say, your head, you will get the realization that no crown was ever needed for me to be the king of my own universe. That crown will become irrelevant, meaningless, as in that moment you have activated and lit up the divinity and the royal essence of who you are within your heart. Material things will fall away, and aspects of non-materiality, aspects of consciousness and divinity in expansion will become stronger than ever, to the point that you will be able to embody what that expression is. For example, I am enlightened, expression used by words and perhaps your mind to comprehend it. You will be able to go further and embody the essence of what it means to be enlightened. You will have the ability to experience from an expanded view what expressions mean. Gray aliens have also visited you, perhaps you don't remember, and you have been aboard a ship. You were invited upon a ship, as abductions truly are not abductions. Your governmental entities spun that narrative to create fear. There is always a co-creation between beings for such expansions, for such activations. You have been aboard a ship with whom you call gray aliens and have shared experiences. A memory perhaps that will be awakened in the very near future. And keep your mind open, keep your consciousness aware of how that information may come in beyond the mind. There are many ways where you are constantly being communicated with, as you already know. Psychically, through your media, through a song, through a book, through an experience, through an image. You may be walking down a street and you see a gray alien image on a wall or within a store that will spark a memory. In that moment, know that what was sparked was real. Pi, pi, pi. The idea of pi, not sense of eating, mathematical symbol of pi is being shown. We will let you figure that out in your near future, the relevance of such a symbol or idea of such a symbol. And yes, sacred geometrical structures you gravitate to. Should you feel drawn or called to draw those sacred geometry, do so. As with each stroke of a pen, with each angle that you move, you are rewiring your conscious energy to remember a grander aspect of who you are. You are a reflection of light to begin with. You are sound vibration and beautiful geometrical structures of creation and color frequencies. The idea of playing around with sacred geometry is simply for you to rewire, remember expanded aspects of who you are beyond the physical, beyond the personality structure, beyond the archetype of what a human is. And the image of an owl is being shown to denote and remind you of how wise you are. That it is within the darkest aspects of who you are where many of the answers lie. That within the darkness itself, you will have visions like an owl. And a diamond shaped structure was shown, almost a vehicle of some sort, crystalline in nature, reflecting light constantly as it travels throughout your skies. You may encounter or have already encountered. And a tiny lizard, tiny baby lizard was shown. The head of such a lizard was shown smiling and winking in a sense, with a little smirk. That message will unfold later in your life. And yes, the angels are with you, angelic beings of many. Ideas of angels your psyche isn't able to comprehend, we will say, have always been within you. Angels of light, angels of feathers, angels of physical beings, angels of quasi-physical beings, even angels of multicolored aspects of who they are have been guiding you throughout your existence on this planet and other realities. They have always allowed you access and openings. They have unlocked many doors for you to be able to swing open, to see beyond. And a mask is being shown. It is time for you to take off that mask and reveal your true nature. That mask you have enjoyed, as it resembled, we will say, a Mardi Gras type occasion, mask like costumes, which denotes to us that you enjoyed the essence of that mask, that it wasn't placed there because you were afraid to be. It was simply placed there to experience the expression of such. It is time for you to let it down and be the true, unhinged, clear version of who you are. You are ready for the next path. You have always been ready. leprechauns, the four-cloved leaf is being shown to remind you of the magic that will occur when you have surrendered to who you are fully. And a bird-like being made of light, phoenix in nature but not a phoenix, has just shown itself. The emanation of light from this being is so bright that in a sense you are not able to look at it, but what you see are fine threads of light emanating from its tail. Will be an experience you will have with the idea of light itself. And know, as you are outside, basking in the idea of what you call the sun is an intelligent being to begin with. There are photons, intelligences that are being transmitted back and forth to you within the ether, through other realities, back to this reality, to the sun, and back to you. Should you feel called to use the idea of sunlight, do so. From a creative way, let your heart lead you. And flowers. Flowers came through initially as we were connecting with you. A field of flowers. Flowers everywhere. Almost as if next time you will experience the idea of flowers, you're going to see them, experience them, feel them, be with them from a different vibration and frequency. For a split second, you're going to be able to experience what a flower is as consciousness. And all of those little crumbs of expansion will allow you to reach a wider lens of vision. And you will be able to experience yourself as the infinite that you are. Symbol of infinity is being shown. Mother Mary, Mother Mary, Mother Mary, Mother Mary, Mother Mary is also guiding you. The consciousness of what Mother Mary is. Beyond your books of religion, beyond the comprehension of who Mother Mary is from a humanity perspective. Begin seeing Mother Mary as a consciousness energy of love. Call on her, should you choose to, as she will guide you through the sense of smell on your path. You will be driving or walking down the street and you get a beautiful smell of creation. No way on earth such a smell could have emanated from your surroundings, but you will know instantaneously it's a connection with that consciousness. Image of a whale is being shown. The sound of whales is healing in many ways. The sound of whales is expansive for humanity. Do listen to the sound of whales, as it will activate a remembrance of you as a water being on another planet. Atlantean lifetime you have lived. Atlantean lifetime you have thrived in. And the color pastels activate you. The idea of light frequencies, of color frequencies that are of light nature, activate your essence. May it be a shirt, a candle, a couch, a throw, a jacket, a hat, a car, a house of light pastel colors will be of assistance to your energy. A book, trumpets, trumpets, trumpets. An image of the typical angel with a trumpet flying over you as it was sounding the trumpet. We're getting the clarity that you have lived a life as the angel that sounded such trumpets. That was you. Sounding the sound of creation, of life, of existence. And as you sound those vibrations, the sound that you hear is your own voice within your heart, as it is being emanated through your breath. Although your mind may be thinking the trumpet is producing the noise, the sound, it is the sound of your heart that is being produced through the permission slip of what you call the trumpet. You were in glory, gloriously shouting out, taking ownership of your own voice. A beautiful life that you are living as the sound of creation itself.
Thank you.
Should there be any further questions, we are happy to dialogue with you.
I am complete. Thank you so much.
With our unconditional love, bright, 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 bright white light of creation, an infinite, infinite, infinite open heart. We thank you for this beautiful co-creation of oneness and to allowing us to see you in this way, allowing us to merge with you in this manner. As we do that, you allow us to expand through your lens, and we expand with you on your journey. Source, the infinite God creation, has expanded further through that experience. And is unconditionally grateful for you. We will bring the channel back momentarily as we head back through the Antares Stargate where we reside. Hi, David.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Wow. So profound. So beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your willingness to be of service in that way.
Of
What was
course.
that experience like for you today?
Oh my God. It's with each one, I always tell my clients when we have channeling sessions or like when we have group sessions, and like now you're gonna see the stuttering again, because obviously I probably did not stutter when I was channeling. That I always tell my people, I'm not channeling for you. Like through you, I'm channeling for me. Like
Hmm.
because your energy and like their energy and I guess my energy is creating a new experience for all three of us, three of us
Hmm.
in a sense, them, you and me. So it's always a gift for me, and the things I experience and feel are words cannot put through. Like when and like what I remember now, so it's like a dream, right? So I'm like when you wake up and you're like, oh, I remember a dream, and you begin speaking the dream and it kind of uh,
Hmm.
um, like fades away. That's exactly how it is. But what I feel and see right now is that angel with a trumpet. That was you. You were so happy to know yourself as this angel. You were like screaming out your own, like who your voice, like, and we're speaking a voice beyond like the idea, like it's an experience of I am voice, I am sound, and happily and proudly just emanating your voice all across the universe.
Hmm.
You were just like, and I have chills all over my body. It's just a beautiful. So I experienced that with you. You allowed me that.
Hmm.
Um, I remember. I'm like the Arcturian one. He's very special. Do you know Arcturian beings?
Yeah, well, I've just learned about him. I interviewed Livia Devi the other day, and she channeled the Arcturian Council of Light.
Okay,
Yeah, but go
perfect.
ahead and tell me more.
Yeah. So the third eye that he has, she has, whatever. We don't think they have no genders. Is very special. It was like beating like a heart. It was crystallized like crystals, but like there was movement to it. And he's very special too. He's been guiding you for a very long time.
Hmm.
He's like a galactic version, we'll say. Um, and his head was like, it comes to a point as a flame. I see it right now. It's so beautiful. Like it wasn't a flame, but it just came as a flame. Um, yeah. And like, look, things will be revealed to you. I mean, if like you re-listen to this, like again, when you're not being in this mode, like you'll see a lot of things will come true.
Hmm.
Not, like I mean, like not come true, will but like will become. Oh, like this is what that meant. Oh, this is what
Hmm.
that meant. Like just keep your heart open.
Okay,
Um,
so can I tell you something?
Please.
So I did a after doing about 24 weeks of training as a in a mediumship class, I went on to do a channeling class similar to you, kind of exploring these different things. And it was with a woman named Sean Randall in Los Angeles. She was Bashar's teacher. So
Oh wow.
she's quite up in mature age. And so had the opportunity to spend 10 weeks with her. And in the process, two beings came through for me that I began to channel on a daily basis for myself. And the way that I did that was through typing on a keyboard. I just sit at the beach in my truck, drop in, and they would give me messages just as I type. Ask, listen, write, but as I'm typing, because it's much easier because I type so much that it just flows so fast. And these two beings that came through, their names that they presented with me were Archon and Elvin. One very large, powerful being that was there to remind me of my power. Always showed up as a very, very large being. I tended to see it almost like a transformer, like from back in the day, kind of just super powerful, large. Archon is the name that it gave me. The other being, his name was Elvin, and it was like a Keebler elf that showed up. And we hung out. I mean, I hung out with him for months and months and months, these two beings. And Archon was there to teach me how powerful I was. Elvin was to teach me that I was pure love. And I hung out with these two beings all the time. And I'm like, this sounds really similar to what you're bringing through. This is really crazy. Like, they're my buddies.
Listen. Okay. It's like for your audience, I don't know anything about David. We just met a few months ago on email, and this is our first session we talk. We emailed a few times when we can do this. No clue about you. There you go. Like
That's
the
so
elf was
amazing.
clear. The elf was absolutely clear.
Yeah,
Absolutely
yeah,
clear. There was no with the ears and
yeah, yeah.
so
So fun. Okay, so you're going to be at Conscious Life Expo in February of 2025 and probably 2026 and all that good stuff. What are you going to be doing at Conscious Life Expo? How can people connect with you there? And then ultimately, how can people follow you and get connected online?
yes, thank you so much. So I have a lot of events every month until next June, like literally every month. But yes, the LA Conscious Expo will be happening, I think, February. So I'll have a booth there, and I don't know like the booth number yet because they haven't picked it. But I'll be in the crystal room, which is one of those large like rooms. I'll also be on a panel. There's going to be 5 or 6 other, I guess, channels. I don't know exactly like when the time is, but like you may be able to find it on like the website. I'll also I'm like be channeling for an hour and a half in like one of the rooms, and it's a free like to attend. Yeah, so I'll be there for 3 days. So all day long from like 9 p.m. to I'm sorry, I'm like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So like you'll have a lot of opportunities like to dialogue with me, like one on one. But if you'd like to be in a like a bigger setting, then you can come to those shows. You can find me on my websites, first name last name .com, ToniGhazi.com, ToniGhazi.com, and I'm on all of the social media platform, which is on my website, like you can just click there and add, but it's the Antarean-Heart. That's like that's the handle name, and you can find all kinds of information on my website about like my like praying mantis skulls, which I'm the only one in the world that creates praying mantis crystal skulls. Because I have the regular skulls, the human skulls, like I have like 8 of them, and I wanted the praying mantis one, and I just went online going, okay, I'm gonna buy one. Nobody on earth makes them, no one. So I began making them, and they're beautiful, beautiful conscious beings that can help you connect with the galactic guides, expand, healing, all kinds of good things. We can imbue them with all kinds of energies, right? Because they're conscious. You can like interact with them, you can dialogue with them. So cool.
And of course, you offer one on one channeling sessions
Yes.
and some corporate spiritual coaching and so forth. That's all available on your website. People can reach out to you to get that scheduled, correct?
Exactly, exactly. And we can do also like group sessions. If you have like a group in your town of like 10 or 20 people, and if you don't want to fly here or come here, I can fly to you, where I can do like a private session for your members of family or friends or like whatever, just to make
Even
it a
via
bit more.
Zoom, I assume, right?
We can
A
do
group
Zoom, but we
session
can do
via Zoom?
also in person if you love to be in person. But yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
Zoom stuff. Yes.
Toni,
Yeah.
your heart is so big. You're just so big and so open and just so beautiful. Yeah, I just appreciate the opportunity to connect. I look forward to staying connected and thank you for the ways that you are serving the world with these powerful messages and really just the embodiment of who you are, which is wonderful. And hey, if you need a real estate broker in the Washington, D.C. area, I know a guy. You can connect with Toni Ghazi. All right. Thanks so much for being with us today, man. Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it, David. Thank you so much. Thank you for your audience. Really, really appreciate it.